is Rafik, and this Planted Not Buried segment features Atlanta media personality Cami Simmons. She shall be coming on the show in just a minute. Trying to get her on the live. Give me 1 second while I get her on. Hello, everybody. Well, for those of you that don't know who I am Rafik Louison. I am the host of a sports show called Nothing But the Sports Talk. And today, I'll be hosting this featured Gardner segment focuses on Cami Simmons. And look who joined the live. I'm about to add her on right now. Yeah, Cami is going to come on soon, so just give her a few minutes, and we will get started. So, yeah, we'll be taking a deeper dive into everything sports entertainment related. Okay, I'm going to get her on. I don't know why she keep doing that, but whatever. She said she's going to come on soon, so just patiently waiting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this interview to get to know Kimmy Simmons' lifestyle, what she's about in Atlanta, why she got into journalism, what she loved about doing it, all the events she covered up until this point, how she's making a positive impact in her community. So just looking forward to her coming on so we can get started.
Hello.
Hello there, Kimmy.
Hi, how are you?
Doing fine. I'm glad you finally got to join this episode of Planted Not Buried Featured Gardner segment. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, obviously, we have a lot going on. I mean, yesterday was Thanksgiving. Right now, we're
Right?
about to do this interview. So, what do you think before to start off the show?
Yeah, so I'm actually in Chicago right now visiting family. Um, I'm headed back to Atlanta tomorrow, so I had a lot of good food while I was here. My mom's side is from Chicago, so I got a chance to meet up with some cousins, have some good food. So we had turkey, we had some stuffing, we had some candy yams with marshmallows. I just ate some Italian Fiesta, which is a Chicago-based pizza joint out here. So getting all the good food in, but I'm having a good time. Yeah, what about you? How was your Thanksgiving?
Yeah, Thanksgiving was fine. Nothing major. Just ate some food, watched football. I mean, you know how
Okay.
it goes in
Watching the
Thanksgiving. But for those of you that are just coming on, why don't we give a little bit about who you are and what you do right now?
Sure. So, hi everyone. My name is Cami Simmons, and I am a TV radio host and producer. I'm also a social media influencer. So, I get paid to create content on not only Instagram but TikTok. I have a YouTube channel that I also create content on Twitter, and I think that's it. So, yeah, I'm all things media, entertainment in front of the camera, and yeah, that's my jam.
Why don't you talk about the many ways where you actually became an influencer in the social media landscape?
Sure. So I actually started back with BET, with Viacom CBS in New York. So I was living in New York City at the time and producing for them, writing articles, going on red carpets, curating how what the theme of the red carpet was going to be. And then fast forward, I became a morning television host and reporter for NBC and then also Fox after that. And then I said, I'm going to take the leap of faith and jump back into entertainment. because I had started out as a producer with BET behind the scenes. And in the midst of COVID, I decided to come to Atlanta, Georgia, which is where I'm based out of now. And as soon as I got to Atlanta, it took about 3 months to kind of figure things out. And now I'm working with brands like XO Nicole, formerly known as Nicole Bitchy, Hits 92.3, which I have a radio show with Hits 92.3 called The Trendsetter Lounge. Working with Yahoo as well as iHeartMedia. And I think that's it. I work with a lot of different brands now. So now I'm a freelancer rather than just having a contract with one company, and doing a lot of exciting things on red carpets, hosting events, hosting panels now, moderating panels, which I'm excited about. And then also just, inspiring women and girls, that they could do it. That's like my motto. That's behind everything I do, as well as men as well, because I have a lot of men followers who follow me. And yeah, and then social media, I literally, well, I've been doing social media since 2014, but actually turning it into a business, I've been able to do more recently. So I actually get paid to create posts from major brands like Toyota to now even like or not companies, but initiatives like Stacey Abrams' team just reached out to me to do some social media work on my social media pages. So yeah, I do a lot of different things, but it all falls within media and entertainment. So I'm really excited about it. I enjoy creating, which is why I got into this space. I enjoy informing people, inspiring people. And so, yeah, I really feel like I've always been tapped in with my gift, but I feel like these last 3 to 4 years, I really have been like really doing some amazing things that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. So just really excited to be here.
Yeah, I can tell. I mean, I watched a couple of your interviews and seen a lot of events that you covered, whether it's listening parties, awards, red carpets, pretty much everything. Like, why don't you give us a little bit about like before we take a deeper dive into your journalism journey, like why don't we talk about like how did having that college education help you learn everything that you learn right now?
Of course, a college education I think is very vital. I always had the it factor. Okay. A lot of people, a lot of my, and thank God for teachers who cultivated that in me. And so they saw the gift in me. They knew I had this presence about myself. A lot of teachers would point that out to me. And so I knew I had something that was in me that I needed to, grow and water and that sort of thing. And so in college, I was actually a theater arts major. So I went to Kalamazoo College in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and
Wow.
full ride. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that I was a theater arts major, got a full ride there.
Hey, I used to do theater when I was a teenager, so
Okay.
we said something we related to. I mean, I did theater at this place called the Abrams Austin all the way down in Manhattan, but that's a long time ago
So
with
you
German high
already
school days.
know.
And then I've also done backstage work for plays, but to continue on.
Yeah, so I was a theater arts major at Kalamazoo College. So I would do musical theater, I would do contemporary theater, dance, art, all of that. And I also was minoring in economics because I ended up getting my minor and undergraduate career for economics. And I also had a concentration. I went to a liberal arts school, so we had what was called a concentration. And my concentration was media studies. So we had arts classes. We also had what we called an independent study, which is where you could create your own course. And a lot of schools don't have that, but I was fortunate to be at a college where I could create my own course. And I created two. One was Radio 101, one was Radio 102. And so I basically taught myself how to do radio because we also had a college radio station. And we also had a TV studio, but nobody really used it. And in that studio, we took one TV production class. They literally only have one. But in college, I did a lot of internships. So sophomore year, I had my first internship at iHeartRadio back in DC with Elizabethany, who was and is still a radio personality. And so I interned for her, helped come up with like creative questions, helped her research all of that. And then I end up interning for a local CBS station, a local CBS news affiliate in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And then after that, I interned for the White House. So I was working with former First Lady Michelle Obama on her policy team, interning with Disha Dyer, Tina Chin, all of those folks, and basically helping with like policy, like memos and her Let Girls Learn initiative. And she also had a leadership and mentoring program for first generation college students. So she had girls from the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area who she would mentor and put them with other staffers in the White House, women staffers who can help them with their FAFSA, help them with their college applications, give them exposure to the White House, so they will always come like to the Easter egg roll, to the Christmas tree lighting, all of that. So I was over all of that with First Lady Michelle Obama, which was an interesting experience, but I learned how to pay attention to detail during that time. I learned how to create policies, obviously. I learned how to just do all kinds of stuff, how to keep a database, because former First Lady Michelle Obama, she had a database that was just a lot of people, but she had a system that she would use to keep up with, like, their kids' college, like if they were going to college, if they gotten married, all of her different like people who she would form these partnerships and relationships with. So if you ever go to the White House and you ever wonder why Michelle Obama knows your birthday or like knows when your kid graduated from college, she has this like whole database that keeps up with all of this. But anyway, I use these different types of detail strategies that she would do, and I used that and I brought it into the world of journalism, which is how I'm able to continue to build great relationships and also just have an organization system to everything that I'm doing, because there's a lot of grunt work that goes behind a lot of what I do. A lot of people just see the curated Instagram page, the curated posts, the curated videos, all of that. But there's a lot that goes behind that. But I probably said more than what I should have said. But yeah, that's
It's all good because it's all good. It's nice you provide those details because look, a lot of people that when they watch your interviews and see you on the red carpet, they feel all they see is the finished product. They don't see like how like all the process that you had towards like literally getting up, showing up to the place, getting the camera production put together, thinking about the questions that you're going to be asking people, and all the process. Literally those type of processes where it takes to get to that finished product.
right.
Especially during those instances that you just mentioned, working with Michelle Obama. Obviously, working with Michelle Obama, I know you had to have a strong relationship with her.
Oh, of course. I mean, I saw her. We didn't see her every day because she was always out in the public eye or, doing different work around the Let Girls Learn initiative, which prompted her to go overseas a lot, during the administration. But my team, we did a lot of work. I can't even keep up with like everything that we did day to day there, but like I said, I learned a lot about just how to build relationships, how to do a lot of things. I met a lot of my lifelong friends during my time at the White House, and it was just a really good time. It was a challenging time, but I learned a lot, and I definitely won't forget it. I still talk to a lot of my White House friends, one of which who's an anchor in Oakland, Raina Harvey. I have another friend, Nakia, who's based in the New York area, doing a lot of amazing nonprofit work. And so, yeah, I have a lot of great relationships from women and also men who I work with during my time at the White House.
Wow, that's amazing. And working with the White House is a big accomplishment for any individual trying to break into the industry you're in right now. And
Oh,
back up a little bit with the internships that you had, how important was it that you even worked towards an internship, let alone have the internships under your resume, especially when you decided to do this journalism media career in the first place?
yeah, it's very important. I didn't know how important an internship was because again, I didn't mention I was a first generation college student, which is why I joined the White House. I'm not a political person, but the reason why I joined the White House is because being a first generation Black girl in Washington, D.C., because I did grow up on Capitol Hill and I grew up around D.C. in a single parent household with my twin sister, who's also in entertainment and media. but she's a producer, so she's behind the scenes. But that's why I joined the White House. It was near and dear to my heart. I wanted to have an impact on people, and that opportunity presented itself. But going back to internships, when I started my collegiate career, I didn't even know how important internships were, but I knew you always heard, or at least within my circles, I always heard that like internships was the way to get experience. It was the way to get just your foot in the door. And so for me, it was just important for me to get that first internship my sophomore year so that I could be able to build up some skill sets because you take classes in college, but internships, it was just that thing that a lot of my teachers and even family members was like, okay, you got to learn or you got to have the skill sets. Well, how are you going to get the skill sets? Internships was the closest thing to getting that real world hands-on experience. And so that's why I think internships are important because you learn, you know, the skill, you put that on your resume, that helps you get the job. So
Exactly. You know what? As hard as you worked at during those times, you could have got fully hired working at those internships, but yet you use those experience to get to do all the media skills you have right now.
mm-hmm.
And now you have your own radio show. You're working for an Atlanta-based radio station. You made a lot of connections, and I even see you've been interviewing people at the red carpet, as I mentioned earlier in the interview. Like, why don't you talk about some of the most recent events that you covered in 2020? Like, name like your top few.
Okay, my top would be Rhapsody, the artist, music artist Rhapsody. I love her. She's very personable. Another one who will fall right behind her would be Vivica A. Fox. Every time I interview and chatted up with Vivica, she's so personable. I've interviewed her. I've had the opportunity to interview her virtually and also in person. She takes time with everybody. She makes sure she goes down that entire red carpet. And I think that's why she has such a longevity in the industry. And I mean, she's a businesswoman. I love a good businesswoman. And
Very talented actor, without question.
phenomenal, yeah. And that's always a hard one. The third one, I cannot think of a third one. Those are just the two that come to mind. But I've had some really good folks who I've had that. Oh, and Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, he's amazing.
Wow, Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay. When you interview, you mentioned Kevin Hart and Vivica A. Fox. What did you learn from these people after interviewing them that you didn't know from them from just watching them in front of your TV screen in movie theaters?
That they are who they say they are. They're very personable. They're very authentic. I mean, you see that through the screen as well. There's nothing that really sticks out too specific. You can tell that they are who they are. And that's what I love about them. When you talk to them, it's like you're sitting down just having a conversation with them. You just happen to have a microphone, a camera, and some lights on, and you happen to be recording them.
Yeah, and obviously, of course, you can red carpet events. Why don't you talk about some of the listening parties that you covered in this business?
Yeah, one of the most recent ones was with Akon. He just debuted his son, who is coming out as an official artist. So I had an opportunity to go there. With listening parties, you can't cover them more. Well, some of them you can. Like I went to the BAM's listening party not too long
The
ago.
one mentioned Rachel O'Neal. Okay, I saw it. Very nice job.
Rachel O'Neal, she came out that night, so I got a chance to cover that one. That one was great. The BAM is amazing. She has great style, great personality, just overall like great artist. She
Yeah,
has a
listening to her song, she kind of reminds me of Megan Thee Stallion a little bit.
You think so?
Yeah, she kind of. I saw listened to a little bit of it. She kind of brings me Megan Thee Stallion vibes. Seriously.
Okay.
What do you think?
But
Like,
she got that California twist. You know what I'm saying? Megan Thee Stallion, she brings her Houston, Texas vibes. But I mean, I can see how they both sound individual to me. I didn't get Megan Thee Stallion vibes from her, but I mean, you know, it's subjective. You know, at the end of the day.
yeah, that's also true. And I mean, just like I asked you with the Vivica A. Fox and the Kevin Hart interview, like, what do you like? what do you what are some of the learning experience you gained when covering those events, and what is some constructive criticism that you give yourself when after each and every event that you covered in order to maintain your good status in this business?
I like that you bring up that question because honestly, that could be a hard thing, just listening from criticism. But I also think it's important. I also think it's important to filter out the noise sometimes because, like I said, everything is subjective at the end of the day. But I do always try to critique myself because I think there's always a lesson to be learned. I can't think of specifics. I mean, like little things. I don't know. That's a hard question because, I've had a lot of critiques and then it's like on to the next project, but I can't really pin down any specifics. I'm always encouraging myself to come up with more unique questions. Like that's always the challenge that I give to myself is like, what is a question they've never heard before that like people are just gonna be like, I was thinking it and Cammy asked it. That's like always my thing is I don't want to be asking the same questions now. Of course, sometimes you're gonna ask the same questions, but you might get a different response. But half the time it becomes a conversation. So I'm asking questions that I'm just naturally curious about. If it's something relevant, say if it's something happening in the news cycle, I might ask them to get their thoughts and opinions on that. But yeah, nothing specifically. I know I'm always challenging myself. I have a whole list of random questions in my notes section on my phone. If I'm like, I do a lot of people watching. So and a lot of like air hustling as some people may call it. So like if I'm out in the public and I hear a conversation or hear somebody asking a certain question, I'm like, or if I'm at my family's house like during Thanksgiving, that's a good time to start getting content or like ideas for things. And I hear a certain question, I'm like, oh, that would be a nice question to ask somebody on the red carpet. If I hear my like first cousin like saying something silly or asking a silly question, I'll jot it down to my phone and kind of say, oh, okay, I'm gonna save this for a red carpet or another exclusive event that I'm going to. So yeah.
You know what? When you give yourself constructive criticism and everything else you just said, like if you could go back in time to like literally to literally yourself during the first day working in this industry, what would you tell that person about how she could be better up until this point?
I would say just relax. I think sometimes I'm just so like uh analytical, so critical that sometimes I don't give myself just like the grace to just sit back and enjoy the moment. I'm doing better at that now, especially because I'm always on like content mode. So I'm always recording and, thinking of like what's next. But I would just tell myself, like, just relax. Everything's gonna be okay. It's gonna work out. It's gonna be the way that it's supposed to be. And yeah, just relax, which I think I'm doing a pretty good job at doing. But yeah.
I mean, you seem relaxed right now. I mean, you're relaxed and answering my questions during this whole interview, and I gotta say, you do a nice job. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I expect nothing less of a radio personality, and when you're interviewing a radio personality, you get the best advice and encouragement possible when people like myself are trying to get into this business.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean, yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, and you're always gonna have something that you want to work on, whether it's like questions you're asking, whether it's content you should have captured. But I say that because, like, as content creators, I would think any content creator would say it. Like, we're always recording that. Sometimes we just forget to enjoy the people and enjoy the experience that we're going through. So, yeah.
Yeah, but to get a little bit about the backstory about the name of your show, like why you named your show the way you named it right now.
Okay, so I named my show Trendsetter Lounge because I believe everybody is a trendsetter. I actually started the brand Trendsetter back in 2017 when I was in graduate school. So I would do these things called Trendsetter Bites, and it was like bite-sized content, anywhere between 1 minute to a minute and 30 of like pop culture entertainment news that was going on, and I would deliver it in a minute or a minute and 30 seconds. seconds, and I would put it out there. That's actually how I got my job at BET, with Viacom CBS. And so that's where Trendsetter started. Um, and going back to everybody's a trendsetter. I don't care if you're into fashion, if you're into the tech space, if you're into entertainment, if you're a musician, an artist, an entrepreneur, a fashion stylist, whatever it is, a teacher, whatever it is, that whatever industry you're in, whatever gifts and talents you are, I believe at the root of it, everybody is a trendsetter. And my motto is to do you, because nobody is like you, and don't let anybody else tell you any different. And I say that at the end of all of my videos, like on YouTube, for example. And I just believe that everybody has a it factor, whether you're awkward, you're unique, you're quirky, you got a deep voice, you walk a certain way, you dress a certain way, whatever it is. I feel like that's what makes you you, and that's the trendsetter that's in you. So my show basically spotlights trendsetters, movers and shakers, thought leaders, entrepreneurs, all that across a plethora of industries. So we do up and coming entrepreneurs and other folks within all kinds of industries, but we also do mainstream folks as well. And so we spotlight them, we talk with them, we sit down with them. And the show airs on Hits 92.3 and also First Class TV on Roku and also iHeartMedia. And we sit down, we get to know them. We want to just rewind and talk about like their new beginnings. And then we play games with them on the show. And we feature their music if they're like an indie artist or a mainstream artist. And it's basically just a platform where they could come, share their story, talk about what it is they do, hopefully inspire somebody, empower somebody, educate somebody, because I'm big on educating, and sprinkling some gems and knowledge. And yeah, so that's where Trendsetter comes from. And it's really grown into a really powerful brand. A lot of people are reaching out to me for sponsorships now, which I'm really excited about. And so really just turning into a great outlet where people could come and really just have a platform that just showcase what it is they do and tell their story.
Exactly, and that's important because when I actually watched this show, like how you put it together, like when you have it published on Spotify, it actually feels like a listen to a show on a radio station. And then when I watch it on YouTube, it's like you putting all that together, like seeing like the visual, seeing how it's done visually, from your introduction to all the Zoom interviews to the in-person interviews you do at those events. Like, and I gotta say, it's well put together.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
And when you find, like, how do you determine the right person to interview for the Transgender Lounge based on the storytelling that maybe put together on paper?
That is a great question, because there is a lot of vetting, there is a lot of research that goes on behind the scenes. So sometimes I may come across somebody's page on Instagram, social media. Sometimes people recommend people, but when I'm going through each individual person to see if they might be a great fit for the Trendsetter Lounge brand, I try to see if one, they have like a positive aspect about them, because my show is about positivity. So I want to make sure that whoever I'm bringing on, we can talk about their impact in the world. I'm always looking for somebody who just has like a unique perspective on different, because the people who listen to my show, they like to feel like they're learning something as well, but they like to be entertained, because my show comes on every Thursday, Fridays Eve, 6 p.m. People come from work, from school, from wherever, and they want to feel like they want to feel relaxed. They want to let their hair down, they want to take their shoes off, and they just want to sit back, listen, or watch, and just feel like they could just leave their worries at the door. So I'm always looking for somebody who could just come and give a different perspective, and also entertain too. So when I bring on singers, I'll take a listen to their music and kind of see, okay, how does this make me feel? But I don't know. For the most part, it's kind of like when I come across somebody, I know if they're a good fit or not. I just know, and I know that it's going to make an impact to my audience. So that's kind of how I go through that. I'm gonna move this.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. Yeah, you're really making a positive impact with doing those interviews. And while we're on the subject of positive impact, like, why don't you tell me, like, how do you think you're making a positive impact in your community and the media industry by doing everything you're doing right now?
Okay, that is a very loaded question. So, I feel like for me, um, if I'm, I feel like when I'm making an impact is when somebody comes to me either through a DM or maybe I meet a couple people who know about me in person and they say, because of you, Cammie, I got out of the bed. Because of you, Cammie, I felt like, I was giving up, but I felt like because of your empowering words, because we have the dosage of inspo on my show, and that's something that you'll see on my Instagram, like outside of my show, I'm always inspiring somebody. But when somebody comes to me and they say, I felt like giving up, throwing in the towel for whatever it is that they're going through. But because of you, I got that fuel to keep wanting to go and keep wanting to pursue my dream, to finish college, to, it might be something as small as to, I don't know, like I said, to get out of bed, which is not a small thing. I mean, that's a major thing. But to me, it's just like hearing people who come to me with testimonies, letting me know that, like, because they came across my page, because they came across my Trendsetter Lounge show on the radio or on Roku, that they feel like that they can do anything, that they have the power to continue to go when they felt maybe depleted or maybe less empowered. So that's when I feel like I'm the most impactful. Interviewing celebrities and high profile people and also up and coming people who are coming up in their different industries is really just the cherry on top, even though that's a main part of what I do. But I know my full purpose is to inspire people to keep going, to make them feel empowered, to make them feel encouraged, and just to really continue to let them know that you could do anything that you want to do. Because my thing is, I don't care if you're in entertainment or outside of entertainment, if you know that you can get to where you want to go, and that my show provides you with that inspiration, provides you with that knowledge, even provides you with tools and resources, practical tools and resources to get to where you want to go, that I've done my job.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about. You're definitely doing your job right now. I mean, why don't you tell a little bit about where people can learn more about you and any upcoming events you plan to cover for the rest of 2022 and 23, or at least for the first one of 2023. I'm not gonna go too far to the new year, but just talk about like any upcoming events people can expect to see you at, especially in New York City, and where can people learn more about you?
Okay. Well, you can definitely follow me at Cammie Simmons, and that's at underscore KAMI underscore SIMMONS across all socials. So Instagram, Facebook is Cammie Simmons TV, but Instagram, TikTok, you can follow your girl on TikTok because I got some funny content on TikTok. You can follow me those platforms with that hat or at or handle that handle. And you can also follow me on my YouTube, which is Cammie Simmons TV. And I also have a creative community. So if you happen to be somebody who is already in like the world of media entertainment, or somebody who's looking to dip their toe or get their foot in the door, you could go to my community website, which is www.firstclasscrew.biz. And that's biz with a Z, so BIZ. And as for my next events, I'm actually headed to New York City for MLK weekend. I'll hopefully have some more information on that. And while I'm up there, I'll probably be attending some events. I don't know which ones just yet, but stay tuned on my Instagram and all my socials. I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia. So if you're ever in Atlanta, Georgia, I'm always out and about in Atlanta, Georgia, just having a good time. And I'm always loving to meet new people. Other new events that I'm not too sure. I'm kind of rounding up the year for right now. But looking forward to 2023. I have a lot of exciting announcements for 2023, One I cannot discuss just yet because I just signed a non-disclosure for it, but you will be hearing about it soon. And I can't wait to
I know
announce.
you're gonna be covering some award ceremonies this year coming up.
I don't have any just yet. My team is looking into the Grammys right now and Billboard Awards. We're lining up some stuff with BET that's coming up, BMAs. Award season has just rounded up, but I mean, there's always an award or there's always a red carpet somewhere. So I'll definitely be out here on these red carpets. You just have to stay tuned. I always try to keep people updated on my Instagram and across all my socials. So I'll be out here getting all the exclusives.
That's what I'm talking about. And then like a few more questions before we wrap it up. Like, what is your dream interview? Just in general, not even just in media entertainment, but in general, like who you want to interview that you haven't interviewed yet.
I actually haven't interviewed First Lady Michelle Obama, even though I worked for her. I haven't officially interviewed her. So she is on my list. And you know, her book is coming out. So we might have to do an exclusive with that.
That's what I'm talking about. And to wrap it all up, like, what is some advice to people that are trying to like become social media influencers and work on their way towards getting strong followings on their Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter accounts?
So what I will say is consistency. Definitely video is like popping for the algorithm right now. So photo, if you're going to do photo, try to turn it into MP4 if you can. But that's just a little tech like tidbit. But be consistent, be yourself, collaborate with other creatives because that's another way to tap in and start with what you have. So if you don't have a professional camera, you can use your iPhone or Android or, start off with your phone and then start investing in equipment like, a camera, a mic, a light, all of that as you continue to dig deep into it. But honestly, the root of it all is to be consistent. Tape record everything. Like they say, everything is content. And get out there and just start. Don't think too much into your head. One of the quotes that I just posted was that a car that's in park can never learn how to drive if you're always in park. So you got to just put your foot on the gas and just go through those mistakes and failures and grow through those mistakes and failures because that's a part of the process. And, those who are doing it are going to get it. If you're just sitting there waiting, other people are already ahead of you. So I suggest that you just jump out and get started.
Exactly. You know what? Well, I'm be doing this. I'm be kind of doing that with nothing but the sports talk. But this is the first one I've done for Planted Not Buried, and you'll be seeing more Planted Not Buried featured Gardner segments coming. If not for me, then for the people I'm working with in this nonprofit organization. Thank you for stopping by, Kemi Simmons. It's really been an honor getting a chance to speak with you.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to stop by and interview and chat it up with you. This has been so much fun.
Yeah, we'll meet each other one day in person, whether it's in New York or the ATL.
Okay. You gonna hold me? I'm gonna hold you to it.
All right, we'll hold you to that. Now, until next time, everyone.